A dark forest. The roar of a wild boar pierces the silence. 1 second of distraction, one missed shot, and you could lose everything. Your reputation, your opportunity, even your life. Welcome to the Great American Wild Boar Hunt, where fearless hunters face off against the most ferocious beasts. Are you ready to join Lionfarm on this breathless pursuit? The high miss rate in major competitions prompted the United States government to launch a 6-month firearm training program. The goal? Improve skills and minimize field risks. This season, the weapon of choice for many hunters is the Remington 700, a legendary sniper rifle equipped with a suppressor to reduce noise, offering a clear tactical advantage at distances between 100 and 300 yards. Wild boar hunting season in the United States typically runs from October to February each year. The National Wild Boar Hunting Championship is attracting an increasing number of participants, with over 2,000 registered hunters annually. Hunts take place across diverse terrains, from dense forests to open grasslands, mostly during the day. To qualify, participants must be at least 25 years old and have taken part in at least 3 previous wild boar hunting seasons. Hunting laws in the United States are strict. Hunters are not allowed to hunt in national parks, wildlife reserves, or near residential areas. Violations can result in fines of up to $5,000, 0 cents, and a 2-year license suspension. These rules are in place to ensure public safety and protect the natural ecosystem. Due to limited night vision, the government mandates that each night hunting team consist of 3 to 5 members, ensuring task division and safety. Notably, competitions held in desert regions allow the use of off-road vehicles at speeds up to 40 miles per hour, helping hunters reduce travel time and approach targets more effectively. Do you think night boar hunting is safe? However, hunting while moving in an off-road vehicle requires high-level skill. Hunters must maintain balance and shoot accurately even before the vehicle comes to a full stop. This boosts hunting efficiency while also helping avoid unexpected danger from wild boar counterattack. One of the most thrilling aspects of these competitions is bow hunting. Participants must close in on their targets within 20 to 30 yards. According to research from the United States Hunting Association, the hit rate is extremely low without cover, as wild boars are highly sensitive to movement, making missed opportunities very common. To support hunters, organizers have introduced smart hunting blinds, each roughly 25 to 30 square feet, accommodating 2 to 3 people. These blinds reduce the chances of being detected by wild boars, while improving shot accuracy thanks to superior camouflage and limited visible movement. In vast swamp areas like those in Florida and Louisiana, up to 130 hunting dogs can be used per round. Hunting dogs play a crucial role, detecting hiding spots that are hard for the human eye to see. Hunters also use GPS tracking devices to monitor dog movement and prevent accidents in the hazardous wild. All of this shows that the United States government places special emphasis on safety and professionalism in hunting. From training and equipment to legal regulation and the organization of official competition. Next, we arrive at the most anticipated segment of the video. Viewers ask, lionfarm answers. One viewer asked, what do hunters usually do with red foxes after hunting them? Lionfarm is happy to answer. After hunting a red fox, hunters handle the animal based on the original purpose of the hunt. If it was to control populations, because red foxes harm poultry, hares, or livestock, then most of the carcass is used and not wasted. Red fox pelts with their signature deep reddish hue are among the most sought after in artisan fashion and interior decor. After the hunt, the pelt is carefully skinned to preserve shape and color. It is then sun-dried or salt-cured temporarily before being sent to professional tanneries for chemical treatment. To preserve durability, prevent rot, and soften the leather. Fox meat, while not commonly consumed due to its strong odor, is still used as food in remote areas where people depend on the forest. It is thoroughly boiled, heavily spiced, or cooked with wine and ginger to eliminate odor. However, it's important to note that foxes are wild animals that may carry parasites or diseases, such as rabies. Proper food hygiene and compliance with safety regulations are essential. Additionally, fox bones and teeth are often used for crafts, decorations, or as charms in the folk culture of some ethnic minorities. Uniquely, in scientific research, fox carcasses may be preserved intact for biological studies, educational purposes, or museum display. However, in some countries or regions, red fox hunting may be restricted or banned if the species is listed as protected. Therefore, hunters must always comply with local laws and regulations. The autumn of 2018 draped the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas in a brilliant cloak of red and gold. Vast oak and pine forests stretched for miles, embracing the quiet flow of the Petit-Jean River as it wound through the town of Boonville. The crisp air carried the earthy scent of damp soil and decaying leaves, the signature aroma of this wild land. But beneath its beauty, a lurking threat stirred. Wild boars, or feral hogs as the locals call them, had descended from the hills, tearing through cornfields, destroying fences and leaving deep hoofprints in the soil. Rumors spread about a beast weighing over 400 pounds, larger than any hog ever seen in the area. They called it Hogzilla, a name borrowed from the legends of massive beasts that once roamed the southern United States. In the Ozarks, nature was not just a backdrop. It was a battleground where people fought to protect what was theirs. Jake Thornton stood silently on the porch of his log cabin in Boonville, his deep brown eyes gazing toward the Ozarks. At 38, he was a well-known hunter in the area, his tanned skin and calloused hands a testament to years spent gripping a rifle. His .38 Winchester rested securely in its case. But what set Jake apart wasn't his weapon. It was his memories. 20 years earlier, his father, a seasoned hunter, had fallen to the tusks of a wild boar right before his eyes. The 18-year-old Jake had done the only thing he could: run. The guilt never left him. Now he hunted not for money, but to prove something to himself. A few miles away, Emily Carter, 29, stepped out of a dust-covered jeep at the research station near Blue Mountain Lake. A biologist from the University of Arkansas, she wore her blonde hair in a high ponytail, her bright eyes brimming with determination. To Emily, wild boars were more than just a threat. They were the key to understanding the Ozark ecosystem. She believed they could be controlled without extermination, though her brand-new hiking boots suggested she had never truly set foot in the deep woods. At a small cafe in Boonville, Sam Old Man Hargrove sipped his black coffee, his handmade bow resting beside him. At 65, with silver hair and a storied past, he was a legendary hunter in the region, known for taking down dozens of wild hogs with nothing but wooden arrows. Sam had taught Jake everything: how to track, how to stay calm when blood was spilled. Though retired, he still couldn't ignore the call of the wild. That late afternoon, the Ozark sky blazed in hues of orange. Jake was checking his traps near home when the roar of a truck's engine broke the quiet. Tom Wilson, a wiry farmer from a ranch 5 miles away, jumped out, his face slick with sweat. "Jake, it's back," Tom said, his voice unsteady. "That Hogzilla tore through 10 acres of my corn last night, knocked down my chicken coop, bigger than this damn truck." Jake frowned and stepped closer to examine the hoofprint Tom had brought as evidence. A 6-inch deep depression, twice the width of Jake's hand. His heart pounded, not from the size, but from the memories. Tom gripped Jake's arm, almost pleading. "You gotta take care of it, Jake. The town's counting on you." Jake nodded, though inside, the old fear clawed its way back. A caged beast awakened. He knew Hogzilla wasn't just a wild boar. It was a ghost from his past, calling him back to the battlefield. That very night, Jake drove his old Ford to Sam's cafe. Emily was already there, sent by the university to gather data on the wild boars. Adjusting her glasses, she spoke firmly. "I want to capture it alive. Study why they're growing so fast." Sam scoffed, taking another sip of coffee. "Kid, that thing ain't a rabbit. It'll tear you apart before you count its tusks." Jake remained silent, his gaze fixed on the rifle resting on the table. He knew he couldn't refuse, not for Tom, not for the town, but for himself. As the three of them left the cafe, the night had already fallen. The wind howled through the Ozarks, carrying an eerie whistle through the trees. The hunt for Hogzilla had begun. Night falls over Boonville, and the yellow light from Sam Hargrove's cafe spills onto the red dirt road. Jake Thornton pushes open the door, a .38 Winchester slung over his back, his eyes filled with both determination and unease. Emily Carter sits at a table, spreading out a map of the Ozarks before her, her finger pointing to an area near Blue Mountain Lake. Tom's description of the footprints matches my report, she says, her voice full of passion. I set up a cage trap here last week. If we can capture it alive, we might find a way to relocate the wild boars out of the farmland. Sam takes a final sip of his coffee and smirks. You think that Hogzilla is just going to waltz into your trap? I'll bet you $10 it'll tear that thing apart before you can even turn on the camera. Jake places his hand on the map, cutting in. No time for arguments. It's near Blue Mountain Lake, 12 miles from here. We leave at dawn. We'll bring your trap, but my gun and knife are what we'll rely on. He pulls a razor-sharp 8-inch steel knife from his pocket, its blade gleaming under the light. Emily frowns, but nods reluctantly. Sam stands up and pats Jake's shoulder. You're more like your father than you think. Don't let fear guide your trigger finger. The three split up to check their gear. Jake with his rifle and knife, Emily carrying the camera and net trap, and Sam taking only his handmade bow and a quiver of wooden arrows. As they step out of the cafe, the cold wind from the Ozarks whistles past, rustling the leaves as if forewarning the battle ahead. What do you think about this thrilling and dangerous journey of hunting Hogzilla? Let us know your thoughts. Dawn breaks, and Jake's old Ford growls as it rumbles down the rugged trail leading into the Ozark woods. Towering red oaks and pines surround them, their thick canopy filtering the sunlight into weak golden streaks across the forest floor. After 2 hours of driving and a 1-mile trek on foot, they stop near the banks of the Petit Jean River, less than half a mile from Blue Mountain Lake. The air is damp, carrying the scent of churned-up soil and exposed tree roots. Let Lionfarm Channel take you on this incredibly exciting and captivating journey. Jake kneels, pressing his fingers into a fresh 6-inch deep footprint. It's Hogzilla's. It's close, he whispers, tightening his grip on the rifle's stock. Emily powers on the camera, capturing the tracks. Look at this. It's at least 400 pounds. These things multiply faster than we expected. Her voice wavers between awe and concern. Sam squints toward the denser part of the woods, pointing at a cluster of toppled trees. It's not just big, it's aggressive. Look at the way it's smashed through those trees, like a damn tank. Jake remains silent, his gaze drifting. Memories flood back. The night his father fell. The monstrous growl of the boar blending with his father's final, desperate scream. Jake, run! His father's voice echoes in his mind, making his hands tremble slightly. Emily notices and places a hand on his shoulder. You okay? Jake takes a deep breath and nods. This ends today. The group presses on, their footsteps growing heavier. The birds have stopped singing, leaving only the eerie sound of the wind howling through the ravines. They know they've entered Hogzilla's territory, and it knows they're here. By noon, the sun stands high, but under the dense Ozark canopy, the light barely filters through. They stop near a narrow gorge by the Petit Jean River, where the gentle trickle of water mingles with the rustling leaves. Sam raises his hand, signaling for silence, an arrow already nocked in his bow. You hear that? He whispers. A deep, guttural growl rumbles from the thicket 50 feet away. Jake holds his breath, lifting his rifle, eyes locked on the massive shadow shifting between the trees. Then Hogzilla steps into view. A monstrous, bristly black beast, nearly 4 feet tall, its long, curved tusks protruding menacingly from its snout. It paws at the ground, its blood-red eyes fixed on them. Oh my God, Emily murmurs, her hands trembling as she presses the record button. Jake steadies his aim, finger on the trigger. "Nobody move," he orders, but before he can fire, Hogzilla lunges, fast as a storm. The gunshot rings out, bam! But the bullet only grazes its shoulder, embedding itself in a tree. The beast roars, crashing through the underbrush, charging straight at them. Emily screams and stumbles back, while Sam, quick as lightning, releases an arrow. The wooden shaft whizzes through the air, striking Hogzilla's left shoulder. Blood trickles from the wound, but it doesn't slow down. It veers, ramming into a nearby boulder with brute force, sending Sam tumbling to the ground. Jake shouted, "Sam!" He rushed forward, but Hogzilla had already turned, its fangs gleaming, ready to strike. Emily threw a rock, trying to distract it, but the beast only growled before charging into the deep forest, leaving a trail of blood on the ground. Jake's breathing was heavy, his hand gripping a dagger tightly. "It's not over," Sam said, getting up with a bruise on his shoulder. "And neither are we." As dawn broke over the Ozarks, golden sunlight streamed through the trees, casting a glow over Hogzilla's motionless body near Blue Mountain Lake. Jake leaned against a rock, dried blood staining his hands, eyes locked on the 420-pound beast, the largest he had ever seen. Emily knelt beside him, carefully wrapping a cut on his arm, her voice soft. "You did it, Jake. It's over." He nodded, and for the first time in 20 years, he felt at peace. The memories of his father, the screams, the razor-sharp tusks, were no longer a burden, but a driving force that had carried him through. Sam, wincing from his sore shoulder, stepped forward and clapped Jake on the back. "You're stronger than your old man, kid. He'd be proud." He chuckled, pulling a 6-inch tusk from Hogzilla and handing it to Jake. "Keep it as a reminder. The forest tests us, but we can overcome it." Emily gazed at the fallen beast, thoughtful. "I wanted to save them, but I understand now. Sometimes we have to destroy to protect." The innocence in her had faded, replaced by the harsh realities of the Ozarks. They sat there in the morning light, saying nothing, just feeling the weight of their victory and the bond forged by the hunt. The group left the forest, Jake's Ford rumbling down the dirt path near the Petit Jean River, carrying Hogzilla's body to the village of Boonville. "You folks are lifesavers," he cheered, but Jake only shook his head, slipping the tusk into his pocket. As the truck disappeared over the hill, a low growl rumbled in the distance, deep within the Ozarks. Another wild boar? Maybe. Jake allowed himself a small smile. The battle with the wilderness never truly ended, but now he was ready for it. Hopefully, through this story, Lion Farm Channel has provided you with greater insight into the harm caused by wild boars and the journey to control them to ensure a sustainable ecosystem. Welcome to the creative and captivating introduction of our Lion Farm Channel team. To start, we would like to introduce a passionate screenwriting talent, a young woman who never stops exploring and innovating in the field of agriculture. She is not only an exceptional scriptwriter with the ability to craft profound stories, but also a dedicated researcher of cutting-edge and sustainable technologies from around the world. For her, scriptwriting is not just a job, but a journey of passion, breathing life into every video we create. Next, we want to introduce the heart and soul of our channel, the channel owner and video editing expert. He is fully dedicated, overcoming every challenge to produce the highest quality videos for our audience. With a burning passion, he constantly drives the team to deliver unique and inspiring experiences to viewers. We hope that in the journey ahead, you will continue to love and support the Lion Farm Channel. Sincerely, thank you.